Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Off the Post podcast. I'm the host, Kain, and we are finally through week 2 of the 2025 NOSL season. Week 1 is come and gone, week 2 is here, and that was already passed as well, which means we're just diving straight through this season, and it feels like it's flying on by. This episode, we've got great things in store. We've got another interview this week with a head coach of one of the organizations in the Northwest Division, alongside our matches recap from this past week, and including for the first time in the Off the Post podcast this season, we'll have our standings update. That's a chance to look at the Northwest, the women's, the men's first, and the men's second divisions to see what teams are where, who needs to climb the ladder, and who needs to sit themselves in that number 1 spot and not let go. That's all that we've got. We've got it all coming soon. Stay tuned here on Off the Post episode 2. We interrupt this episode of the NOSL Off the Post podcast to remind you that the official 2025 sponsor of the NOSL is Alanovus Corp. A big thank you to Alanovus Corp in all that you do. The NOSL and Alanovus Corp, creating impact, building community, and bringing the game to life. Taking a look at week 2, we've got the men's first division up to start. Delaware Rising, a 6-0 victory over Mahoning Trumbull United. Delaware Rising got goals from Ryan Miller, 3 from him. Aiden Shepardson also scored, and Bilal Hassan also was able to find the back of the net. That game was played at Buckeye Valley High School, and Delaware Rising certainly was in control from start to finish. Moving on to Sunday, May 18th, Stark County United fell 1-4 to Mansfield Liederkranz, who was able to get right back in that scoring sheet. Stark County United scores were Jake Woodling, and for Mansfield Liederkranz, it was 3, a hat trick from Bruno Vargas alongside Jared McPeak scoring the other goal. That game was played at Glen Oak High School. Vargas now has 4 goals on the season. McPeak has 2, both scored in week 1 as well for Mansfield Liederkranz. Moving on to Ashland United versus Ohio City SC, a 4-0 showing for Ohio City SC to pull off the victory, and they had some big goals coming from Mateo Durango, Chris Brennan, and Adam Wade, who found the back of the net twice. Taking a look at our other 2 games that we have for the first division, Greater Columbus fell 3-0 to Worcester FC, with Luis Canas Jr. leading the charge with 2 goals. That game played at Otterbein University. Taking a look at the next game and our last game for Division 1 for week 2, it is Twinsburg United who fell to Susserfoss Belverin 2-1. Twinsburg United got a goal from Yoleto Fuentes, as Susserfoss Belverin got goals from Ethan Mulchak and Jacob Hagenbaugh. That game played in Liberty Park in Twinsburg, and Twinsburg at one point in time had tied the game 1-1 in the 90th minute, but Susserfoss Belverin scored minutes later in stoppage time to take all 3 points from the hosts. Taking a look at the men's second division, this is where the fun begins, as AFC Kent fell to Paxos FC 4-1. In that game, another hat trick for this week, this time coming from Paxos' Gabe Anderson. That game was played at Kent State University's Dix Stadium. Paxos led 2-0 at the half, was able to coast in half number 2 to pull off that 4-1 victory. Taking a look at Mansfield Liederkranz 2, they took down Forest City FC 2-1. Liederkranz had goals scored by Jake Beck and Griffin DeBolt, while Forest City's scores were Jalen Jackson Tyus. Let's take a look at what we've got from WMFD TV, who's able to bring us some highlights for the game.
Match number 2 on Sunday, it's the Liederkranz SC taking on Forest City Football Club. Moments into the match, LSC trying to draw first blood with a shot on target. Forest City catches a break, with Liederkranz's shot coming off the post, and it doesn't cross the line and bounces directly back into the gloves of goalkeeper William McHale. Forest City dodges an early bullet. But in the 4th minute, Jake Beck opens up the match with the goal into the roof of the net off of a Justin Kroll centering ball. Liederkranz up 1-0. We jump to the 26th minute. Forest City with a quality shot on target, but Trenton Mason pushes it wide for his first save of the match. It's still 1-0 Liederkranz. Then Forest City threatening again, and Trenton Mason comes up with another massive save. Forest City still unable to find the back of the net. Just before the break, an interesting sequence here. A shot on goal gets saved by McHale, then the ball is still in play, then Forest City commits the foul on the end line, giving the Liederkranz an opportunity to add another before the halftime break. On the ensuing penalty, McHale makes a fantastic save, keeping the score 1-0 as we go into halftime. In the 48th minute, Jack Keeble plays a delicious ball into Griffin DeBolt, and DeBolt makes no doubt about it, doubling the lead for the Kickers, 2-0. Then Forest City with the free kick. The first shot is blocked, and the follow-up shot is hit wide, a missed opportunity for Forest City. Next, Forest City on the move. And on the 1v1, Jay Jackson Tice gets clipped by goalkeeper Trenton Mason and is awarded a penalty kick. On the ensuing penalty shot, Jay Jackson Tice makes Trenton Mason pay for his foul and finds the back of the net. Forest City finally gets on the board, now trailing 2-1. Then, the Liederkranz on a breakaway. Griffin DeBolt met by Forest City netminder William McHale, who makes a solid 1v1 save, a missed opportunity for the Liederkranz to put this match away. Then in the 90th minute, Liederkranz defender Tristan Spires gets handed a yellow card and had a few choice words for the referee J.J. Jamison. And Spires has shown his second card, and it's red this time, and Spires is given his marching orders. And at full time, Liederkranz SC gets their first league win of the season.
Thanks so much, WMFD TV, for those highlights and that little voiceover that we got as well. Taking a look at the rest of Division 2, it's Black Clover FC who took down Raiders FC 12-1. Keelan Watson was a big shower for Black Clover FC as he found the back of the net 4 times for 4 goals. That game was played at Mineral Ridge High School. This game was a tough one for the Raiders, but they're trying to get some results underneath their belt and get adapted to the NOSL. Moving on to the men's Northwest Division, Firelands United a 3-0 victory over FC Perrysburg with Reggie Johnson scoring 2 goals. That game played at Sports Force Parks in Sandusky. Another big game, another really tough one. 2 of the top teams in the Northwest Division, Valentis Athletica and AC Elite tied 2-2. Both teams were just battling it out. Valentis led 2-0 at the half. AC Elite found 2 goals in the second half to tie and share the points. They're tied atop the Northwest Division standings. And last but not least, the women's division. On Sunday, May 18th, it was Delaware Rising who fell to Sesserfuss Belverin 3-0 as Peyton Marino had herself a hat trick at that game that was played at Buckeye Valley High School. Last but not least, it was Ohio City taking down Mansfield Liederkranz 7-1, and Addie Pittman was the lone scorer for Liederkranz. Ohio City just got all-around help from everyone to get those 7 goals. That game was played at Mansfield Liederkranz, a big game for Ohio City SC to take. Let's take a look at what we've got from WMFD TV, who's able to bring us some highlights for the game.
Northern Ohio Soccer League, the Liederkranz Fraulein's hosting the ladies from Ohio City SC. It didn't take long for Ohio City to get the scoring started. Here's Julia Markovich just 3 minutes in, driving her shot past goalkeeper Ava Newsom. Ohio City up 1-0, and their afternoon is just getting started. Ohio City's dangerous ball played into the Fraulein's penalty area. Liederkranz's Liv Griffith was able to clear the ball off the end line, giving up a corner kick. Ohio City will continue to pressure on the Fraulein's goal. Moments later, Ohio City's Haley Stelbeski slots it past Newsom and finds the back of the net, putting Ohio City up 2-0. Then it's more pressure by Ohio City, but goalkeeper Ava Newsom comes up one of her multiple saves on the afternoon. Now with Liederkranz with pressure of their own, Addie Pittman cracks one from 24 yards out. She beats the keeper, but can't beat the hardware. It's off the crossbar and danger avoided for Ohio City. Ohio City would take every opportunity given. It's Lydia Mitchell placing the ball where the Spiders spin their webs. A lovely bit of finishing by Mitchell. Ohio City up now 3-0, and that score would stand into the halftime break. The second half begins. It's the Frauleins coming out on the front foot. They'll take their opportunities when given. A well-placed shot on goal by Bethany Wapman, but cleared by defender who's covering the backside of the goal and clears the ball off the end line. We jump to the 51st minute. It's Belleville's own Deja Swihart with a cheeky turn and the brilliant chip, dropping it into the backside netting. OCSC now leads 4-0. Then it's Erica Seal making her presence known. reminding Ohio City that the Fraulines aren't going away easily. Seal will be put in the books on a yellow card. Then later, it's a deflected shot on goal, and Ava Newsom with another outstanding piece of goalkeeping, giving up a corner kick that will take care of business on the ensuing corner. It's Newsom again as she collects this high ball like a veteran. Then in the 66th minute, it's Addie Pittman in a foot race. She gets into the area, sells Ohio City's goalkeeper Peyton Burns to the ground, and draws one back for the Fraulines, putting them on the board at 4-1. Then more physicality. It's Maddie Walgamuth committing the foul in the box, giving Ohio City a penalty shot. Ohio City would capitalize on the penalty. Katie Marchesso, a well-taken spot kick, finds the back of the net and adding the 5th for Ohio City on the afternoon. Then in the 77th minute, it's Haley Stelabeski finding her second goal of the match. On the brace, Ohio City pouring it on the Fraulines, now up 6-1. Moments later, OCSC's Lydia Mitchell with a shot on frame, and Ava Newsom pushes another ball over the crossbar, and another quality save for Newsom. Then, in injury time, it's Ohio City's Lydia Mitchell scoring her second of the match, capping off the 7-1 victory for Ohio City over the Fraulines.
Thanks so much, WMFD TV, for those highlights and that little voiceover that we got as well. That's all that we've got in terms of the matches. Let's continue on with the Off the Post Episode 2 for Week 2. That's what we had for the matches this week, and it's now time to talk to our head coach from Valentis Athletica. That's Chad Kain. He'll spotlight the team a little bit, talk about some of the results they've had early in the year, and much, much more. Stay tuned here on Off the Post. Welcome back to the Off the Post podcast. I'm your host, Cade Krakus, and I'm now joined by Chad Kain. Chad, thanks so much for joining me.
Yes, thank you for having me on.
Of course, it's great to talk to you. Well, first and foremost, how is the year going for your side?
We're doing well. We opened up with Perrysburg. We got a nice win there. For those of you that followed the game yesterday, we actually played AC Elite and did the same thing. Was up 2-0 with 4 minutes left. We conceded 2 goals and ended up with a tie. But overall, it's going well. The boys are enjoying it, so we're having a good roll right now.
And how's the side looking for the year? Obviously, too, you talked about some of their early results, but off the pitch in terms of game day, but more or less the practicing side of things, and then kind of the off the field practice that you've seen from your players. What are things looking like in that regard for you guys?
Well, we really started training at late last week, beginning of this week because of school. Everybody was still getting back from college. So, we're getting 10 guys at training. And so actually Monday and last Thursday were our first true practices. We had, the full squad there, went real well, worked the boys, everyone putting in the work to try to get themselves better. And that's what I really expect us to do moving forward. Now that we're all here, we're all training, I think you're going to see some better results and things like that.
And taking a look at the standings as well, you guys sit in that number 1 spot, obviously, to kind of tie with AC Elite, but you have the goal differential on your guys' side. Do you hope to stay in that number 1 spot? How are you going to kind of protect that as well?
I expect us to stay up there. I thought AC Elite was a decent team. But like I said, to concede 2 goals in 4 minutes is definitely out of character, and we've got to fix that. We have to be more composed in things at the end of the game and close them out. So I definitely expect us to stay in that top spot and ride that out through the course of the year.
And when you take a look at the League Cup as well, something that Braden Mass has talked heavily about this year, what's your initial thoughts on the League Cup and the opportunities that it gives to your side?
Actually, we like it. We knew Worcester had won Division II last year, went undefeated. We know they're 1-1 in Division I. So, we looked at this as a really good chance to kind of see where we stand coming in. So we're very pleased with that result. Again, went up 2-0 and conceded late, but we kind of stuck with it. So we're happy with it. I mean, we've said this, and we said it to Braden last night. If we have to travel to play quality, then we'll travel. We want to put our guys up against the best. So we'll make that travel.
And certainly so. Moving forward in the League Cup as well, what are your expectations for your team?
We look forward. Thursday's the draw. We know we have to travel again. Could be further, could be closer. But we're looking forward to it. Let's be honest. We want to win it. I mean, we want to set that example. And, as a first-year team, we want to come in and say, hey, look, we can throw the players out on the field as well.
And speaking of those players, people might not be too sure who you guys have going on the pitch every single game, but for maybe some of those people who are just now getting really interested in the NOSL and specifically that Northwest Division, what are some of the players on the pitch that you will be throwing out there that people should keep their eye on?
So, we kind of have a mix. We have 5 players from the University of Findlay, which made it to the show this year. They start right now. Carson Oberski, who started there, is one of our leading goal scorers, followed by his buddy Brendan Wisher. So Tyler Palicki, Jiggs is our goalkeeper. He shows a lot of command back there. But we have a few Heidelberg guys. We have some Mount Union players. We have some Defiance players. So we have a good mix of everything. It's been a good combination. A lot of these boys actually have played together too, from pace setter to Valentis. So they all have a little bit of, they're all pretty much similar with each other. So we have a good balance, a good chemistry. And like I said, and we're traveling with 26. We have 3 goalkeepers, 23 players, and we don't have anyone staying back. So, and we'll throw this out as far as even yesterday. This is how good the pool has gotten for us. Yesterday, we go to Worcester and we get a result, and we missed 5 starters yesterday due to injury.
Wow, that's just crazy. And that's the thing with the NOSLs. It's such a unique opportunity for these players to obviously get with so many other different players from different schools and have this opportunity to work in the offseason. For you, what's your pitch to the fans out there to get them out and supporting these players at these games and obviously rallying for your team right now that's trying to continue to compete at a high level?
Well, and that's a big thing. We use the Valentis Athletica name, but we're based in Maumee, and I coach at Maumee High School. So, we have a pool of the Express players in our MISA program. And a lot of these players are local. One thing that's different from us is I'm sure you're aware we have Villa around here. If you look at Villa's roster, it has 2 local players. Everyone else is from somewhere else. So we've tried to get away from that to say, hey, look, we have a lot of good talent got around here. I think our first home game, we put 140 in the seats.
Wow.
So it was a great show. And we had, 10 ball boys running around with that. So that's really what we've pitched is, come out, support the boys. These are guys you see every day that you've watched at high school. And I think one of the things that we do, a little bit different too, is that we have no admission. We want to pack it in. And so we've made that available for parents, and that also brings the kids in. So we've really pushed community, and it showed for the first game. But that's a big thing for us, and that's what, when Tim and I put this together, that was what we said, that we want you to bring your grandma, your grandpa, your aunt, your uncles, your brothers, your sisters, your girlfriends, come watch. Everybody here. I've seen every one of these kids play growing up through club, and I've probably coached half of them. So it's just great to see these guys all back together.
Perfect. Well, Chad, thanks so much for joining me here today. I appreciate it.
Yes. Hey, thank you. And we'll keep sending you, but look for us to stay on top of the chart.
Hey, that's the hope. That's the hope.
We interrupt this episode of the NOSL Off the Post podcast to remind you that the official 2025 sponsor of the NOSL is Alanovis Corp. A big thank you to Alanovis Corp in all that you do. The NOSL and Alanovis Corp, creating impact, building community, and bringing the game to life. Well, it's finally time for us to take a look at the 2025 standings. Let's take a look at the Northwest Division to begin. Valentis Athletica, 4 points for them through 2 matches played. They've got a +5 goal differential. Then you move to AC Elite, 2 matches played for them with 4 points. They have just a 1 goal plus in that margin, so that's why they said that number 2 spot, Valentis Athletica, a spot above them. Taking a look at the rest in the table, Firelands United with 3 points through 2 matches, and FC Perrysburg towards the bottom of the table with 0 points as of now through 2 matches. Their goal differential sits at -8, trying to bump that up, but still plenty of season left to go and they're definitely not out of the mix yet. Moving on to the women's side of things, that's a really big opportunity for a lot of shakeup as the year goes on. Ohio City SC +8 goal differential mark right now, 2 wins for 6 points. Sassafras Belverin with 3 points through 1 game, 1 win, 3 goals scored in that game to give them that goal differential of +3. And then you move to Delaware Rising. They've got 3 matches played so far with 1 win and 2 losses for a -2 goal differential. Moving towards the bottom of the standings, Twinsburg United, Mansfield Liederkranz, and Panthers FC round out the table. Taking a look back at the men's side of things, we move to the men's first division first here. 10 teams in the mix, and they're all fighting to stay atop and not get relegated. You take a look at Delaware Rising, 6 points for them, 2 wins on a +8 goal differential. Moving down the list, Ohio City SC, they've got a win and a draw. Mansfield Liederkranz has a win and a draw. And then Worcester FC has got themselves a win and a loss. And those are our top 4 spots right now. Moving through the rest of the table, Sassafras Belverin, they've got themselves 1 win underneath their belt through 1 game played with a +1 goal differential. Moving on to the rest of the list, Greater Columbus, Stark County United, and Ashland United take the 6, 7, 8 spots. And then Mahoning Trumbull United and Twinsburg United sit towards the bottom half of the table, looking to work their way upwards. In the men's second division, this is huge because the highest point scorers make the playoffs and help fight their way to the men's first division. It's Akron United and Forest City FC in Group A that have got wins underneath their belts to start, and Akron United has got a +15 goal differential right now. AFC Kent and Raiders FC towards the bottom 2 spots. They're getting some extra help to try to work their way up the table. Obviously, they're sort of new to the NOSL, so trying to make their mark in that regard, but AFC Kent and Raiders FC definitely trying to kind of round out their roster as we hit the middle way point in the coming weeks. Moving on to Group B, it's Paxos FC with 2 wins and a +14 goal differential, and Black Clover FC with 2 wins and a +13 goal differential. Then Mansfield Liederkranz 2 and Amish Country United round out the rest of the standings. That's our first look at the 2025 standings. We'll have the standings each and every week to keep you in the loop on where teams are at and what work needs to be done to keep their spots safe in the standings. That's all that we've got for now. Stay tuned here on the Off the Post podcast. Well, that's all that we've got for this rendition of the Off the Post podcast. It's episode 2, it's week 2. We've got week 3 and episode 3 just around the bend. As a reminder, stay tuned and subscribe to our channel. You don't want to miss out on everything NOSL here on the Off the Post podcast. I'm Cade Krakus saying thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll catch you guys next week.